Welcome back, Sebastian here. Time for my review after the Formula 2 feature race, and I thought it was actually one of the best races that we've had so far this season. A really excellent race all the way through, and then really nail biter of a finish. So we'll start at the start of the race, obviously. So Martin started on pole with Vesti alongside, and it was a really bad start by Martins, and he drops 2 positions right at the start, and he was down to P3, and Vesti took the lead of the race right away. Lap 2, Martin's then making his start even worse. He was overtaken by both Doohan and Miney into turn 3. So at this point, he's already dropped down to P5 after 2 laps after starting from pole. So not a great start from him. Lap 3, there was battling between Hauger and Verschoor for P9. Lap 6, Hauger gets run onto the grass by Cordial. But it looked like it was Cordial's fault initially. But I think after seeing the replay, I think Hauger just kind of got a bit too cautious and kind of leapt off the track to kind of avoid Cordial. But, you know, it was a bit of a 50-51 there, and there was no penalty. And as a result of that, he let Iwasa through. Lap 7, Cordial was the first driver to pit for the harder tires. Lap 8, Martins overtook Miney at turn 3 for P4, so regaining one of the positions that he lost at the start. And that was followed right through by Fittipaldi. So Fittipaldi overtook Miney as well. Lap 9, Pourchaire and Miney were the first of the leaders to pit, and followed the next lap on lap 10 by Martins and Doohan, who pit as well. Doohan jumped Martins in the pit, so basically got ahead of him, but both of them were behind Pourchaire, and they were behind Pourchaire as well before. So no overcut for either driver. Lap 11, Vesti the leader pit, and he stays ahead of Pourchaire. So very little drama after the opening pit stops. And to show how good his pace is on the new tires, Vesti sets the opening fastest lap of the race on lap 13. Behrman then overtakes Crawford for P6, and I thought that Behrman had really good pace, just like he did yesterday in the sprint in the changing conditions. Today, I didn't watch qualifying, so I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but he's had really good pace all through this weekend. Lap 14, Hauger noted for crossing the pit entry line. So because of the because of the nature of turns 9 and 10 of this track, the pit entry is on the inside, kind of in the inside halfway between turns 9 and turn 10. And if you are strayed too far wide, the speed differential can be very dangerous. So that's why you have to stay on the inside. And Hauger had part of his car outside of that line, so he was given a 5-second penalty for that. Lap 17, Vesti catches up to the back of the alternate strat drivers, so he's basically already jumped that pit stop, almost a pit stop that he had on those drivers, showing how good his pace was on those fresh tires. Lap 23, laps later, Pourchaire and Doohan are starting to pass the alternate runners too, so they're a couple laps behind Vesti, catching up those drivers. And at this point, Fittipaldi, who was the highest driver on the alt strategy, can still lead. Lap 21, Behrman overtakes Stanek for P5 at turn 3. Lap 23, this is when Hauger's penalty was announced, one that I just mentioned, and Miney was given a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits too many times. Lap 25, Doohan starts closing up really close to the back of Pourchaire. Looks like he's going to get a move, and he makes it stick the next lap. He overtakes Pourchaire at turn 3 for P8, although at this point it was virtually second on the road because there was many drivers ahead who hadn't pitted yet. Lap 27, Verschoor was given a 5-second penalty, but that was then cancelled, so it looks like they maybe misjudged one of the times he went over for track limits. Leclerc and Behrman both pit that lap for soft tires, so they're two of the higher drivers who have started, who are on the alternative strategy, and they pit for those softer tires, and they come out 17th and 18th at this point. Lap 28, this is when the big moment in the race. Leclerc stopped in sector 2 because his tire basically detached from his wheel. Think of what happened to the Haas's at the 2018 Australian Grand Prix. That's basically what happened, although it was a bit more dramatic. It just kind of went flying off and went over the car and kind of went rolling down in the gravel. So virtual safety car was called, and then eventually it was upgraded to a full safety car. And I noted that this was really good for the alternative strategy runners because it would bunch the entire field up, and it would mean that they would not have to, since they would have such a massive pace advantage, they would basically gain all of that benefit of having the softer tires without having to deal with the pain of having to catch up back to where they were before. So lap 29, Fittipaldi pitted from the lead, and I felt it was a lap too late. And the commentators, I think, weren't kind of got a bit caught out by this because they were all excited about how Fittipaldi was going to stay in the lead. But I kind of had realized that he had pitted a lap too late, really, to benefit from pitting under the safety car. And the big winners of this were Versure and Iwasa, who were 5th and 6th after the safety car period. So lap 32, the safety car ended, and I thought it was really intriguing finish that we had set up for us, because I was really interested to see how big the advantage would be for those soft tire runners, and how well would the drivers on the harder tires be able to manage at the end. So right at the start, after the safety car came in, Versure, Fittipaldi, and Behrman, the three of the higher drivers on the soft tires, they all basically jumped position right on the main straight before we'd even got to turn 1, just to show how much pace they had in hand. Lap 34, Behrman at this point was already up to 7th after being 12th when the safety car came in. Versure was up in 3rd, Iwasa was 4th, and Fittipaldi was 8th. Lap 35, the VSC came out because of Miney's stricken car. So he had a really bad lockup into turn 1, and it kind of destroyed the tire, and it destroyed the carcass of the tire so much that he was forced to retire, so he pulled off to the side of the track right after turn 1. And I think this actually saves a couple of the drivers who finished like Vesti and Doohan. I think if this didn't happen, if this VSC didn't come out, I think they would have they would have finished much lower than they did. Let's see, so lap 36, VSC ended, and Martins has a go on Pourchaire, who looked like he was caught sleeping at the end of the VSC at turn 6. Lap 37, Behrman was up to 5th, as he has passed both Pourchaire and Martins. Lap 38, Iwasa takes the fastest lap, and at this point there was a very, very close four-way fight for the lead between Doohan, Vesti, Versure, and Iwasa. So it was really, really close between all 4 of them with 2 laps left in the race. So very great action to finish up the feature race for Formula 2. Versure takes P2 at turn 4, and Iwasa takes P3 at turn 6 of that lap. So we have 2 laps to go. And Iwasa goes for the cutback on turn 3 to take the lead going down the hill to turn 4 to lead the Austrian Grand Prix, or the Austrian Formula 2 Austrian feature race. And Iwasa takes P2 that same lap. So we go on to the final lap, and Iwasa tries to go around the outside of turn 6, I believe. No, actually the outside of turn 4, but doesn't make it stick. Versure holds on to win the Formula 2 feature race. So really, really excellent race. I thought really well deserved for Versure, and he had a lovely tribute on the radio as well to his friend who tragically passed away yesterday, Delano Van Hoft in Frecka. So let's go through the race results. So first was Versure, of course. Second, Iwasa. Third, Vesti. Fourth, Doohan. Fifth, Behrman. Sixth, Fittipaldi. Seventh, Pourchaire. Eighth, Crawford. Ninth, Martins. 10th, Derula. 11th, Howard. 12th, Hadjar. 13th, where's that? 13th. I can't even read my own handwriting. It's gone. Okay, Novalak, 13th. 14th, Boschung. 15th, Maloney. 16th, Missani. 17th, Cordial. 18th, Correa. And 19th, Benavides, last of the finishers. Lap 20 was 3 drivers who retired were Stanek, Leclerc, and Miney. So now let's take a look at the championship standings after the Austrian round. Vesti stays in the lead of the championship, 125 points, and he builds his lead over Pourchaire to 20 points. Third is Iwasa with 101, and fourth is Behrman with 81 points. Fifth is Versure, who moves up quite a bit after his performance today, with 75 points. Hauger is 6th with 60, Martins is 7th with 58, and Fittipaldi is 8th with 57 points. 9th is Doohan with 54 points, and 10th is Miney with 49 points. 11th is Maloney with 48, and 12th is with 41 points is Derula. 13th is Crawford, 14th is Leclerc with 38 and 36 points respectively. 15th is Boschung, who is still on 33 points, and he's been on 33 points since the opening round in Bahrain. I've been keeping track. 16th is Hatcher with 24, and 17th is Stanek with 11. Then we have Correa with 10 and 18th, and then Novalak with a solitary 2. He would have had a lot more if he actually got his podium yesterday. And then we have 20th, 21st, and 22nd, Nissani, Cordial, and Benavides. The three musketeers of having no points. So that's all for the Austrian rounds of the Formula 2. I thought it was a pretty exciting race today and yesterday as well. So that's all, and of course I'll be watching the Grand Prix in about an hour's time, so I'm looking forward to that as well. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.